Before you apply your next moisturizer, it might be worth taking a closer look at what's actually in that bottle, because skincare products that seem gentle and helpful on the surface don't always work the way people expect over time. Most people use moisturizers every single day, part of a simple routine that feels familiar and reliable. You find something that feels good on your skin, and it quickly becomes something you don't think twice about. But here's what often goes unnoticed. Not all moisturizers are designed to support your skin long term. Some are created to give a quick, smooth feeling right after application, but don't necessarily help your skin maintain hydration throughout the day. Others include ingredients that can feel fine at first, but may become too heavy or irritating with regular use, especially as skin naturally changes over time. And that matters more than most people realize. In fact, as many people begin to notice their skin becoming drier or more sensitive after 60, the products that once worked well may no longer be the best fit. But the challenge is, most people never think to change what they're using. They stick with familiar brands, trusted names, and routines that have been in place for years without stopping to question whether those products still match their skin's needs. Today, we're breaking down 10 moisturizer brands you may want to think twice about. And some of these might surprise you because they're widely used across the United States. But before we get into it, if you find this kind of information helpful, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Let's get started. Jergens Ultra Healing Lotion. At first, this feels like one of the safest choices you can make. It's been around for years, it's widely available, and it's often marketed as a solution for dry skin, which is exactly what most people are looking for. You apply it, your skin feels softer almost instantly, and it seems like it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. But here's where things start to shift. That immediate softness can sometimes be misleading. Many lotions like this rely on ingredients that create a temporary smoothing effect on the surface of the skin. It feels hydrated right away, but the deeper layers of the skin may not actually be getting the long-term moisture they need, so the result becomes short-lived. You find yourself reapplying more often, thinking your skin just needs more product, when in reality, it might be the formulation itself that isn't lasting. Another detail worth noticing is how heavier formulas behave over time. Thicker lotions can sometimes sit on the skin rather than fully absorbing. At first, that might feel comforting, but over time, that layer can start to feel greasy or slightly clogging, especially with regular use, and that's when the experience changes. In fact, this becomes more noticeable as skin naturally becomes drier and more delicate over time, particularly for those in their 60s and beyond, when long-lasting hydration matters more than quick results. There's also the fragrance factor. Added scent can make a product feel more pleasant, but daily exposure to fragrance can sometimes be too much for sensitive skin. You may not notice it immediately, but over time, your skin may respond differently. What makes this product tricky is how familiar it feels. It's not something people usually question. It's been part of routines for years, and when something becomes that familiar, it stops being evaluated. So while Jergens Ultra Healing Lotion delivers that quick feeling of softness, it raises an important question. Is your skin actually improving, or just temporarily feeling better? 2. Vaseline Intensive Care Advanced Repair Lotion. This is another product built on long-standing trust. The name itself carries weight. Vaseline has been associated with skincare for generations, and that reputation makes it feel like a dependable, no-risk option. When you see advanced repair, it sounds like exactly what your skin needs. And at first, it seems to deliver. Your skin feels smoother, more protected, and less dry right after applying it. But once you take a closer look, the experience becomes more layered, because protection and hydration aren't always the same thing. Many lotions like this focus on creating a barrier over the skin. That barrier helps lock in moisture, which sounds beneficial. But if the skin underneath isn't properly hydrated, you may just be sealing in dryness rather than correcting it, and that changes the result. It feels like your skin is improving, but the underlying dryness may still be there. Another point to consider is frequency of use. If a lotion needs to be applied multiple times a day to maintain that smooth feeling, it raises a simple question. Is it truly lasting or just wearing off? That cycle can easily go unnoticed. There's also the texture factor. Some people find that these types of lotions sit on the surface longer than expected. That may feel protective at first, but over time it can become slightly heavy or uncomfortable, especially when layered with other products. And then there's routine. Once a product becomes part of your daily habit, it rarely gets questioned. You keep using it because it's familiar, not necessarily because it's still the best option. This becomes even more important as skin changes with age, particularly after 60, when maintaining moisture balance becomes more critical than simply covering dryness. So while Vaseline Intensive Care Advanced Repair Lotion feels dependable, it brings up something worth thinking about. Is your skin being supported or just temporarily shielded? 3. Nivea Essentially Enriched Body Lotion. This is one of those products that feels dependable the moment you see it. Nivea has been around for generations, and that long-standing presence creates a sense of comfort. You recognize the brand, you trust the name, and it feels like a safe, familiar option for dry skin. And at first, it seems to do exactly what you expect. The lotion feels rich, smooth, and deeply moisturizing right after application. It gives that immediate sense of relief, especially when your skin feels dry or tight. But here's where things start to become a bit more subtle. That rich texture can sometimes be more surface level than it appears. Instead of fully absorbing into the skin, thicker lotions like this can sit on top, creating a coating that feels hydrating, but may not always support the skin underneath over time. So while the surface feels soft, the deeper dryness can still remain. And that leads to a cycle. You apply more and more, trying to maintain that same feeling. Another detail to think about is formulation balance. Some products prioritize thickness to create that intense moisture effect, but heavier formulas don't always adapt well to changing skin needs. What works at one stage may start to feel overwhelming or less effective later on, and this is something many people don't notice right away. It builds gradually. For many, this becomes more noticeable as skin naturally loses elasticity and retains less moisture over time, particularly after 60, when the skin benefits more from absorption rather than surface coating. There's also the fragrance element. Even when it's subtle, fragrance can play a role in how your skin reacts over time. It might feel pleasant initially, but with consistent use, some people begin to notice sensitivity they didn't experience before. What makes this product tricky is how reliable it feels. It's familiar, widely used, and easy to trust. But that same familiarity can prevent people from asking a simple question. Is it still the right fit for my skin today? 4. Lubriderm Daily Moisture Lotion. This is one of those products that seems straightforward and uncomplicated. Lubriderm is often positioned as a simple, no-fuss moisturizer, something you can use every day without worrying too much about it. No heavy marketing, no bold claims, just a basic lotion meant to do its job. And that simplicity is exactly what makes it appealing. You apply it, it absorbs relatively quickly, and it doesn't leave a strong residue. It feels light, easy, and comfortable, which is what most people are looking for in an everyday product. But here's where things become a bit more nuanced. Lightweight doesn't always mean effective. While fast absorption can feel convenient, it can also mean the moisture doesn't last as long as expected. You might notice that your skin feels fine at first, but a few hours later, that dryness starts to return, and that leads to repeated use. It becomes part of a routine where you're constantly reapplying, not because you want to, but because you feel like you need to. Another factor to consider is depth of hydration. Some lotions are designed to sit lightly on the skin without delivering long-lasting support beneath the surface. So while everything feels fine initially, the underlying condition of the skin may not be improving over time. And that difference becomes clearer with consistency. This becomes especially relevant as skin changes with age, particularly after 60, when maintaining moisture throughout the day becomes more important than how a product feels in the moment. There's also the familiarity aspect again. Because it's simple and widely available, it becomes something people rely on without much thought. It's not exciting, not concerning, just part of the routine. And that's exactly why it rarely gets questioned. So while Lubriderm Daily Moisture Lotion delivers that easy, lightweight experience, it brings up something worth considering. Is convenience giving you what your skin actually needs, or just what feels good in the moment? 5. Olay Complete Daily Moisturizer. This is one of those products that feels like a smart, well-rounded choice. Olay has built its reputation around skincare that's accessible, reliable, and designed for everyday use. When you see Complete Daily Moisturizer, it sounds like exactly what you need. Something simple that covers all the basics. And at first, it seems to check those boxes. It goes on smoothly, feels light, and gives your skin that immediate refreshed feeling. It's easy to use, easy to trust, and easy to make part of your daily routine. But here's where things start to shift. Products that try to do a little bit of everything don't always do one thing exceptionally well. When a moisturizer is designed to hydrate, protect, and improve appearance all at once, the formulation often becomes more about balance than depth. That means it may feel effective on the surface, but not always deliver lasting support beneath it. And that difference becomes more noticeable over time. Another point to consider is how your skin responds to consistency. Using the same product daily can create the expectation that your skin should steadily improve. But if the formulation isn't adapting to your skin's changing needs, the results can plateau or even feel less effective than before. And that's when questions start to come up. There's also the ingredient blend. Some formulas include a mix of active and inactive components designed to create a smooth application and pleasant feel. But that balance can sometimes prioritize texture and usability over deeper hydration. It feels good, but may not go far enough. This becomes especially relevant as skin naturally changes with age, particularly after 60, when maintaining long-lasting moisture becomes more important than short-term comfort. So while Olay Complete Daily Moisturizer feels like a dependable all-in-one option, it brings up something worth thinking about. Is it truly supporting your skin, or simply maintaining the routine you're used to? 6. Aveeno Daily Moisturizing Lotion. Aveeno is often seen as one of the gentler options on the shelf. It's associated with natural ingredients, calming properties, and skincare that's suitable for sensitive skin. When people reach for Aveeno, it usually comes from a place of wanting something mild and trustworthy. And in many ways, it delivers that first impression. The lotion feels smooth, absorbs reasonably well, and doesn't feel overly heavy. It's comfortable to use, especially if you're trying to avoid stronger or more irritating products. But here's where things become a bit more detailed. Gentle doesn't always mean deeply effective. A product can feel mild on the surface while still not providing the level of hydration your skin actually needs, especially if dryness is something you're dealing with regularly. And that's where expectations and reality can start to separate. Another thing to consider is how ingredients behave over time. While oatmeal-based formulations are often used for soothing, they don't always provide long-lasting moisture on their own. So while your skin may feel calm and balanced at first, that effect may not hold throughout the day, and that leads to repeated application. There's also the idea of safe choice. Because Aveeno is widely seen as gentle, people tend to trust it without questioning whether it's the most effective option for their specific needs. It becomes the default, not necessarily the best fit. And once something becomes the default, it rarely gets reconsidered. This becomes more noticeable as skin begins to require more consistent hydration, particularly after 60, when dryness tends to last longer and requires more than just surface-level relief. So while Aveeno Daily Moisturizing Lotion offers a calm and comfortable experience, it raises an important point. Is gentle enough, or does your skin need something more supportive? 7. Cetaphil Moisturizing Lotion. Cetaphil is often one of the first names people turn to when they want something gentle. It's widely recommended, easy to find, and known for being simple and non-irritating. For many, it feels like the safest possible option, especially if your skin reacts easily to stronger products. And that sense of safety makes it appealing. You apply it, and it feels light, clean, and easy to wear throughout the day. It doesn't overwhelm the skin, and it doesn't feel heavy or greasy. But here's something worth paying attention to. Simplicity doesn't always mean completeness. A formula designed to be minimal can sometimes lack the deeper support your skin may actually need. While it avoids irritation, it may also fall short when it comes to long-lasting hydration. So the experience becomes temporary. Your skin feels fine right after applying it, but that comfort may fade sooner than expected. Another point to consider is how your skin evolves. What once felt perfect may no longer be enough. And because Cetaphil is so widely trusted, many people continue using it without reconsidering whether it still matches their current needs. That shift happens quietly. This becomes more noticeable as the skin begins to lose moisture more quickly over time, particularly after 60, when hydration needs become more consistent and long-lasting. So while Cetaphil Moisturizing Lotion feels safe and familiar, it brings up an important thought. Is gentle alone enough, or does your skin now need something more complete? 8. EOS Shea Better Body Lotion. This is one of those products that stands out for how it feels. From the texture to the scent, everything about it is designed to create a pleasant experience. It feels modern, smooth, and almost luxurious in the way it applies. And at first, it's easy to enjoy. The lotion glides on easily, absorbs quickly, and leaves the skin feeling soft right away. It's the kind of product people reach for because it feels good to use. But here's where the focus shifts. Sometimes the experience becomes the priority, not the performance. Products that emphasize scent and texture can sometimes lean more toward how they feel in the moment rather than how they support the skin over time. And while that's not always obvious at first, it becomes clearer with consistent use. Another detail to think about is fragrance intensity. A strong or noticeable scent can be enjoyable, but daily exposure may not suit everyone, especially if your skin becomes more sensitive over time. And that change can be gradual. You don't always notice it immediately. This becomes more relevant as skin naturally becomes more reactive with age, particularly after 60, when even small irritants can start to feel more noticeable. So while EOS Shea Better Body Lotion delivers a smooth and enjoyable application, it raises a simple question. Is it helping your skin long-term or just creating a short-term experience experience. 9. Eucerin Advanced Repair Lotion. Eucerin is often seen as a more clinical, results-driven brand. It's associated with serious skincare, something that goes beyond basic moisturizers and focuses on repairing dry or damaged skin. That positioning makes it feel like a stronger, more effective option. And in many ways, it is. The texture is rich, the formula is designed to be intensive, and it feels like it's doing more than just sitting on the surface. But here's where things become more detailed. Heavier formulas don't always adapt to every situation. While a rich lotion can be helpful for dryness, it can also feel overly dense for daily use in certain conditions. Over time, that heaviness may start to feel less comfortable, especially if your skin doesn't need that level of intensity every day, and that creates imbalance. Another point to consider is how your skin responds to consistency with stronger formulas. Using something too rich, too often, can sometimes make the skin feel dependent on it, rather than naturally maintaining its own balance. And that's a subtle shift. This becomes more noticeable as skin begins to require a more balanced approach, particularly after 60, when hydration needs to be steady, not overwhelming. So while Eucerin Advanced Repair Lotion feels powerful and effective, it brings up an important thought. Is stronger always better, or is balance what your skin truly needs? 10. Suave Advanced Therapy Lotion. This is one of the most accessible options on the shelf. Suave is known for being affordable, simple, and easy to find almost anywhere. It's often the kind of product people pick up without much thought because it gets the job done at a lower price point. And at first it seems practical. You apply it, it softens the skin slightly, and it feels like a basic solution for dryness. But here's where things start to become more noticeable. Basic doesn't always mean effective. Products designed to be budget-friendly often focus on delivering a quick result rather than long-term improvement. So while the skin may feel better right after application, that effect can fade relatively quickly. And that leads to repetition. You end up using more of it more often without seeing lasting change. Another detail is formulation depth. Simpler formulas don't always include the kind of ingredients that support the skin over time. They create a surface-level effect, but may not address the underlying dryness. And that difference matters. This becomes more apparent as the skin naturally requires more consistent care, particularly after 60, when maintaining hydration becomes more important than quick fixes. So while Suave Advanced Therapy Lotion feels convenient and affordable, it raises a final question. Is saving money up front costing you results in the long run? Up to this point, we've looked at products that may not always deliver the results people expect over time. But that doesn't mean you have to stop using moisturizers altogether. In fact, choosing the right kind of product can make a noticeable difference, especially when it comes to how your skin feels day after day. So now, let's shift our focus to a couple of options that are often seen as more balanced and supportive. Healthy alternative. Number 1, CeraVe Moisturizing Cream. CeraVe has built a strong reputation around one core idea: supporting the skin barrier. Instead of focusing only on how the product feels right after application, it's designed to work with the skin over time. The texture is rich, but not overwhelming, and it absorbs in a way that feels steady rather than temporary. What makes it stand out is how it approaches hydration. Rather than creating just a surface layer, it aims to help the skin retain moisture more effectively. That means the results tend to last longer, and you don't feel the need to constantly reapply throughout the day. Another detail is consistency. It performs the same way each time you use it, which makes it easier to rely on. You're not guessing whether it will work. It becomes part of a routine that feels stable. This becomes especially helpful as skin requires more dependable hydration over time, particularly after 60, when maintaining moisture balance becomes more important. So instead of quick results, CeraVe focuses on steady support, and that's where the difference shows. Healthy alternative. Number 2, Vaseline Moisturizing. Vaseline takes a slightly different approach. Instead of focusing on added features, it focuses on what it leaves out. The formula is designed to avoid unnecessary ingredients that can sometimes cause irritation or discomfort, and that simplicity works in its favor. It provides hydration without overwhelming the skin, and it does so in a way that feels consistent and controlled. There's no strong scent, no heavy residue, just a clean, straightforward experience. What makes it stand out is how predictable it is. You know what you're getting each time you use it, and for many people, that reliability becomes more valuable than anything else. Another key point is how it behaves over time. It doesn't rely on quick effects. Instead, it builds a steady level of comfort that lasts longer than expected. You don't feel like you need to constantly reapply, which makes it easier to maintain a simple routine. This becomes especially important as skin becomes more selective about what it responds to, particularly after 60, when consistency matters more than experimentation. So rather than trying to do everything, Vaseline focuses on doing one thing well: supporting your skin without unnecessary complexity. Before you pick up your next moisturizer, take a moment to think about what you've been using and how it's actually been working for you over time. Because the truth is, skincare isn't just about what feels good in the moment. It's about what continues to work day after after day. And sometimes the products we trust the most are the ones we stop questioning entirely. That's where small changes can make a big difference. You don't have to replace everything overnight. Just becoming aware of what you're using and why you're using it is already a step in the right direction. And over time, those small adjustments can lead to better results, more comfort, and a routine that actually supports your skin. If you found this helpful, make sure to like this video. It helps more people discover information they might not have thought about before. Share this with someone who uses these products every day and might benefit from knowing this. And if you want more videos like this, breaking down everyday products and helping you make smarter choices, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Because sometimes the things we use the most are the ones worth paying attention to the most.